find it so, there's this limb of yoga called Pratyahara, which is like abstaining from senses, fasting for food, celibacy for sex. And it's it's easy to give up things when you're not tested or when things aren't so available.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to have sex with you. It's not that hard to not have sex.
Right, exactly.
When everybody was so available and you make that
Right.
decision, you're going to be tested repeatedly and you're going to really show up and see what your resolve actually is within that.
Yeah.
And so as you made that decision, which I know was probably tough at the time, and of course, there's many paths to the same ocean bed. You know, there's many ways to find that true vibrancy, to know yourself. Sexual energy happens to be one of the most potent forms. It's why we're all here. Harnessing that energy really allows a lot of creativity to open up.
Yeah.
And
That's
for you to
facts.
harness those distractions, so many different things.
Yeah.
What did you feel shift internally, like around your clarity of mind and how you felt internally? And then when you started to attract because of that, what did you feel like really shift because of that period?
My connection to, the things that I were calling into my life and why. I was able to clearly see, listen to that inner voice differently. My judgment wasn't so clouded, you know what I'm saying? And I was okay with that. So during that time, and then also too, my relationship with the universe, with the proverbial God, even though I know that, that is within us in our scope, you know what I'm saying? We are gods within ourselves, having the opportunity to choose how our experience is. It helped me come into that, unencumbered of, like you said, this is like droplets of a vast ocean. And then it's like, once you start doing your research and you see how it's all relative and it's the same, it might have a different name, but it serves, the same purpose energetically, that's what it allowed me to come into. And I think sometimes, for me, with my experience with religion, it kind of cuts you off from being able to experience and realizing that everyone is kind of in that same space. And you really just have to do the self-work in order to realize that actually there's many ways, and, a lot of the things that we think is wrong is actually not, So that's what it really opened me to have less judgment, more understanding, and more appreciation and gratitude, and how you can do certain things for yourself to, I don't want to use the word be in control, but you get to say so in how you feel about the natural things that occur.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't have conscious choice over your life if you're so compulsive in regards to all things. Like, yeah, like you said, food and sex being some of the two strongest pulls that we have.
Yeah.
That and probably money is like around there. I've heard you talk to, and I felt this so strongly in my own journey too, the difference between joy and pleasure.
Yeah.
Because you can go pleasure seeking all day and it's pleasant. It's pleasureful, of course, obviously, in many forms. But I've found, and you see this in like, certain athletes where there's just so much of that, especially sex available to, or, eating out every day at different restaurants. There's can be a lot of pleasure in that, right? And I'm not saying, that it's not okay to sometimes dip your hedonistic toe in these different experiences of life or whatever, all in balance, right?
Yeah.
But I often find a lot of those individuals can't find joy in their life. Like they can't find pleasantness within just sitting alone in a room,
Yeah.
And that's tough. So what do you feel like the difference is between joy and pleasure?
It's interesting because we always talk about this. We always talk about, what was it? It's serotonin
And dopamine.
Yeah. And how, the difference.
Yeah.
It's almost like, when you get, and it's funny too, as it relates to success too. We're building up for this moment. We're rehearsing. We're getting ready for this show. And the moment is like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like dopamine is, And I think we all have to be mindful of that, because it's something that, it happens so fast.